Copper's back in the spotlight and Yukon's emerging as a hot ground for discovery. The one company making waves is Cascadia Minerals. They've just wrapped up their first drill program at their flagship Carmacks project and are preparing to release results from the majority of their holes this month. With a much bigger campaign underway next year, we've invited Graham Down, CEO of Cascadia, to walk us through what these initial findings mean for the company's growth story. Well, he's here. Graham, thanks very much indeed for talking to us.
Thanks for having me.
Well, look, I believe this was your first Cascadia drill program at Carmacks since the acquisition. What were you hoping for, and did the results deliver something tangible?
Yeah, well, thank you for that. Yes, they delivered. And we knew coming into this, after the acquisition, we knew the Carmacks deposit had a lot of potential, and the biggest thing that we wanted to do was to demonstrate that we can make it bigger. And we've clearly done that just even with the first 3 holes, let alone the remaining 8 holes that are still to come. And we've announced, and it's public, that we've hit mineralization in 10 of the 11 holes. So we're very excited about it.
It's a rare sight when these things happen so quickly, right? But let me ask you about those 3 holes. So you've got 3 holes, mineralization, 30 meters beyond the sort of block program, right?
Right.
So what does that mean? Is it the start of sort of meaningful tonnage growth, or is it incremental?
It's somewhat incremental, but I think there's still a lot of potential because we've stepped out, like you said, and we've got, before it was modeled, we've got 30 meters. And that's actually quite a meaningful amount, especially when you're getting over a 1% copper equivalent. So we're very fortunate that the Carmacks project has excellent copper and gold grades. So yeah, it's meaningful. But more importantly to this year was just to get out there and prove that it is growing. We've done that. We've got the grade. I mean, you know, 83 meters of almost 9.9% copper in a mining-friendly jurisdiction on a road near power. One of the second hole is 75 meters of 0.95% copper with 0.2 and a bit gold. So great grade. That can add into pounds and ounces pretty quickly. I
like what you said about where you're positioned and the infrastructure around it, because that's very important with these things, isn't it?
It's incredibly important. I've been working in the Yukon for over 30 years, and most of my work's been, you know, fly-in or helicopters, and we were just like, listen, here's this opportunity with a very well-established deposit on just off of a highway-maintained road, and we're very fortunate to get it. And really can't stress enough that it's just in a friendly jurisdiction. These are pretty rare, in my opinion, in North America to find something like this with potential to grow.
Yeah. So you've got 8 more holes pending, so it's a lot to look out for there, and that's with sulfide mineralization logged in 7 holes. Now, what would be considered success when you consider the assays here?
I mean, just what we have. I mean, I have to, it's as simple as that. Like, we have excellent grade, and that's the critical thing. And when we get into bigger programs, you know, we want to grow it more substantially, and I think that's possible. We've done a lot of due diligence, I think. You know, one thing that's really important about this project is that it's a very large project in the Minto Copper Belt.
Yep.
And it's 177 square kilometers. For example, in the 1980s, previous operators drilled a couple holes that I can remember, 22 meters of over 2% copper, 25 meters over 2% copper with the best gold grades on the property. Hasn't seen any real work to follow it up. All along roads, a network of roads across the project. So we have the Carmacks main. We've got targets very near the deposit. You've got 10 kilometers away, Zone A, with these great copper grades, over 2%, which is just amazing. So the potential on the Carmacks project is enormous.
Okay, so the next big thing, you know, when you think about funding next year's presumably larger campaign,
yeah,
how do you approach that? I mean, presumably you would need a mix. You've got equity, you've got strategic, because I would imagine it's flexibility that you want to preserve, isn't it?
Absolutely, and you know, remember, we just finished the acquisition in August. We just got a drill program down. We're just coming out and getting our first assays done, so this all come together very quickly. I can say that there's a lot of interest in the story, and how we have enough money right now. We might want to get a little bit more to do a much bigger program, because this project deserves it, and the drilling is very good. And what the biggest thing is, it's you know, the cost of drilling here on a road accessible project is very cheap compared to what we're used to. So Yeah, we're looking at strategics, funds, all sorts of different ways of financing this, and I think there's definitely interest.
So, Graham, I want to wrap up by talking about, it's very interesting what's been happening with the copper price at the moment over the last few months. It's supportive with regards to what you're doing, but I see you prioritizing expansion over fast-tracking studies, right? So what resource scale or confidence threshold do you want to see before moving towards, let's say, a pre-feasibility?
I mean, I think that it's a good question because the last PEA that was done at $3.75 copper. So, I mean, we could probably go out there and just redo a PEA, but we don't want to necessarily go that route. We see the potential to grow the resource. We want to get after it quite aggressively and build the resource so that when we do that new PEA, it will be very robust. You know, so I think that's really important. I mean, we could probably do one today, even at the higher prices, and it would look even amazing. But we understand that, you know, there's room for it to grow, maybe find new zones, new deposit on this big project, and then in a year or two, depending, just hit it out of the park.
Yeah, you want all angles to be as convincing, right?
Absolutely.
Now, I'm going to leave it there. Sounds very compelling. Graham, and probably when you get more news on this, we'll have you back in and you can tell us about the developments as well.
Definitely. I mean, most of them hit mineralization, so stay tuned.
Okay. Graham Downs, CEO of Cascadia, thanks very much indeed for coming in.
Thank you.